Hello, good people, and welcome to the Amateur Hour. My name's Justin,
My name's Tyler.
I'm the one called Junior.
and today's sponsors are EBXYA and Adam Stone. So before we start the podcast, first off, we want to say Junior's not here yet again, okay? We'll have an update soon. He'll be back soon. We have a time frame, all right? Can't tell you when, but it will be soon. Hopefully in the next couple of episodes, Junior will be back, all right? Again, he had some personal things to take care of. So he'll be back. That's exciting. But first things first, we have to talk about our lovely sponsors, EBXYA. We've just been notified, all right? We've been hit up, if you will, that they are getting the new and improved cables, braided XLR cables, which honestly is the first time of me hearing of a braided XLR cables. But then again, I'm new to the XLR world, right? You know, we just started this podcast up ourselves about a year ago. We're a year into this, so we're still fresh. But yeah, EBXYA, everyone, is going to be offering pretty soon, right? It was a little insight. They haven't released it just yet, but they are releasing braided XLR cables. So if are you guys, I could personally we can vouch for EBXYA because we are currently using their cables in the studio. Well, I know we're doing this through Discord, but I'm still using the XLR cables currently. And about a year in, it's fantastic. We haven't had any issues, no tearing, no issues with the XLRs just dying out on us. So if I were you guys, I'd keep an ear out and an eye out for the new XLR cables that they're going to be releasing soon. The colors so far that I know of is black and white. So just be prepared, be excited. So, yes, again, EBXYA braided cables. Be sure to check it out. What do you got there?
So, hold on a second. Justin. I'm going to play a noise, okay? You're just going to listen to it. Did you hear it? Could you hear that?
No.
Oh, you couldn't hear it. All right, let me try again then. Maybe I have to, actually hold it to my mic. Could you hear that at all? It sounds demented and creepy is what it sounds like. All right.
Not gonna lie, the demented and creepy, it sounded a little bit like a toilet. I'm not gonna sound like I flushed a toilet.
Here's the thing. I don't know how clear that came up. Well, let's talk about it first.
Yeah.
And then I'll send you the video. Because once I send you the video, it's gonna ruin it. So I got home from work. I always come home from work. I take my boots off. I go straight to the bathroom. I strip my clothes off. And I sit down, take a shit, and then I take a shower, right? Every day. That's just what you do after work, okay? My cat, for whatever reason, her new favorite place to sleep is the bathroom sink. She curls up in a ball in the bathroom sink and sleeps in it. Whatever. It's comfy there for her. Out of nowhere, this thing just starts purring. Loud purring. But it doesn't sound like the gentle purr you get from a cat when you pet it and it likes it. It sounds scary. And I'm not touching her. I'm not looking at her. I'm not paying any attention to her. I'm scrolling through something on my phone. And she won't stop. And then I go to take a video of her because I wanted to record the noise that she's making. My phone kind of amplifies it a little bit, makes it sound a little bit more scary just because it's digitalized into a mic and everything now. But it sounds almost like how the cat actually sounded. So yeah, it just sounds creepy. And this whole time, I don't know if she got some catnip or something while I was gone. I don't know what happened. But I look at her to start this recording. Her eyes are wide open. Her pupils are huge. And she looks like she wants to kill me. And I was like, oh, what are you doing, cat? So here, now that you know the backstory, I'm going to send you the video just in case you couldn't actually hear what was going on. But yeah, that's how we're starting a podcast, people. My cat is becoming a real cat. It's not a kitten anymore. It is plotting my death.
I'm telling you, man, the cat's nature is to kill. There's no way around it. A cat is just gonna kill you. Like I said, I've yet to meet a nice cat.
Well, that's the thing. She's super nice and playful. She nibbles a lot. Like she'll latch onto you and start biting and stuff, but it doesn't hurt. Like she's playing.
She sounds
There's
like
no
she's
scratch on my
growling
arms.
like a,
There's nothing. I'm telling you, man.
she's
It
growling like a
sounds creepy.
tiger.
She is just sitting there purring. But
She's
do you
ready
see
to
her
kill.
face? Her pupils are just huge and her eyes are just wide open. Like, do you want to die now?
She just got like this.
But yeah, later that night, right? Same day. Well, same night, I suppose. Wake up in the middle of the night. Sarah's pushing me around trying to get me to wake up. And then she's like, "Where's the cat? What is she doing?" I'm like, What do I care? Why are you waking me up for something the cat's doing? Go see what the cat's doing. Like I don't care. It's a cat. And then she's like, "No, really." And all of a sudden I hear just sprinting and running into things and pushing things around. And I'm like, God damn it. What the hell's the cat doing? So I get up. I go find the cat. Sarah bought cat toys that are infused with catnip. Well, she left them out. So the cat has like all the dose of catnip that it can get.
Oh,
I pick her
gosh.
up. Her heart is racing. And she is literally twitching, like her head's just twitching around, and her eyes are wide open. She looks like absolutely fucking crazy. 10 times worse than what she looked like in that video. She looks like she's going to lose it. So, I'm holding her, I'm petting her, I'm trying to get her to calm down, and she is just fucking gone. I don't know what the hell catnip is, but this cat is
Yeah,
shit. She
what
is fucking gone.
What essentially is like catnip for?
I
you know?
don't know.
Like I know it's like it gets the cat kind of high, but like
Oh, it is the
why?
funniest thing ever. So we went to the pet store, right? And Sarah's buying a few toys and stuff. Well, there's the aisle that has the catnip in it. Dude, there was so many references to like weed and everything else. It looked like you walked into I don't know what to call them, a weed store. It looked like you walked in, and you know how they got all the stupid posters up on the wall, and they got all the stupid names for everything that have some kind of reference to smoking. Well, it was an aisle, not an aisle, like a section of an aisle, just devoted like this, but for cats. It even had like jars that were
So
full of
weird.
like, it looked like weed, but it was catnip.
That's the thing is like, is it the factor that cats are just so, like I said, their nature is to just kill. So is this like our way of trying to keep the cats from killing us? Like, is that what's going on? Like, is that what catnip's for? To just keep the cats at bay before they strike?
Not every cat wants to kill you, but it does seem like when I go to a customer's house, to be honest, I am more worried about cats than I am dogs. Because dogs, when a dog doesn't like you, it tells you, and then you either just walk away or the customer's like, "Oh, I have to put him away. He doesn't like you." A cat, they just look at you, man. And when they decide they don't like you, they're already jumping for your face.
Yeah, like that's the thing is, or like they stay back and like then they'll hiss at you and swing at you with their razor sharp claws, and they're gonna tear you up. And that's what's just scary about cats. I don't know. I haven't had too much one-on-one time. Junior has a cat too. When he comes back on the podcast, for sure, I want to get him more into this cat discussion. Maybe have some debates.
We'll wait for Junior, but for now,
But yeah,
what's
like
this first topic on here that we had highlighted to talk about? What's going on here? Bring it up. Bring
I
up the
mean,
topic.
we got a
We'll
few
wait for
topics.
Junior on the cat stuff.
Yeah, we'll revisit it because I definitely want some. I have some intrigue on the cat
I just wanted to
situation.
talk to you about my experience with my cat. Like my first thought that okay, you are a cat. You do want to murder me in my sleep. This is confirmed now. I had to bring that up. Yeah, I'm not going to die from heart disease or whatever other mental or physical problem or whatever I have. It's not going to kill me. My fucking cat's going to kill me.
I can believe it. Trust me. If I'll start the conspiracy if Tyler just ends up dead, it's the cat. No one's ever gonna. It'll become a whole documentary later in the future about my life because then I'm gonna be obsessed with finding the cat killer, like the cat that killed you. That is, but aside from killing, one thing that's surprisingly, I'm not gonna say killing it, but surprises me that it's still alive and hasn't been killed is this this Google Stadia. I'm surprised it's still alive. Why is it here? I don't want it. I don't think most people want it either. So I'm surprised that they're still making games for it and that they're still pushing it to be this new future innovation.
Well, so the Google Stadia thing, it's a subscription base.
Yeah, pretty much it's like a streaming service for like video games.
Right. What it is your laptop has very little horsepower. It can't do very much, but it can stream a 4K video off YouTube at 60 frames per second. So that's basically, the gist of that thing. Because what you're doing when you buy your monthly subscription, you're buying a space in a server, and that server has all the hardware in it that has the extra horsepower and that can run all the games. And now the only other thing you need is a low latency, high speed internet connection, which is offered in just about everywhere now. Assuming you're not in some kind of third world country and you live in a hut. If you do, you're probably not going to be able to use Stadia. But most people don't have that, and most people are lazy and they don't want to either build or dish out the money to build a computer or buy a computer. So Stadia, and there's a couple of others. I think Xbox tried doing it for a little bit, and I think Nvidia has something similar. But basically all it is you pay, I don't what does it cost? $30 a month? Something like that?
I'm not quite sure
I don't
the
remember how much it
pricing
costs.
of it.
But you're basically renting a space in a server that has hardware good enough to run your game, and it's going to stream it to your device for you to play. That's the basic concept. So you don't have to know how to build a computer. You don't have to maintain a computer. You don't have to dish out the money to build a computer. You just have to pay this monthly service charge. And
See,
you
but
log in with your computer.
if I'm gonna pay for a monthly, like I'd look at something like, for example, Xbox Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
That does it the best so far. The reason being is because you're paying this
Well,
monthly, but you're
Xbox
getting
Game Pass is different.
your
Xbox Game Pass gives you access to the game, but you still install it on your Xbox to play it.
yeah, or
Where
let's say for
Stadia,
example,
so you have to buy an Xbox and you have to have an Xbox. And the Xbox Game Pass is the monthly subscription that assumes that you're not going to buy every single game out there. But when you're looking at your subscription and you're playing that game that's highlighted on there, and you're all of a sudden seeing it in your Game Pass, like, cool, I can get that at a discounted rate. Or cool, it's included in my Game Pass with my gold membership. They still make money off that because of all the advertisement. But you don't, it's not like Stadia because you're not streaming it, you are actually installing it and playing it.
yeah, but I mean
So same concept pretty
yeah,
much, but
it's
it's run differently.
it's a Game Pass service like that. Yeah, it is run differently, and you're not necessarily streaming it wherever, whenever on the go. But I still think it's better than what a Stadia would be. And the reason being is like there, Google Stadia says like, okay, well, you can stream this on your Google Pixel phone. You could stream this on your Chromebook and all this craziness. But
Mhm.
I mean, it was the same thing that we're talking about earlier. Like, well, if you don't really have good internet, and the truth is that I know a lot of people that have like low running internet, like low download speeds, low upload speed internet, and I can't. That's why I don't feel like this is necessarily gonna still survive for much longer. It's just because like everyone's internet's gonna be completely different, and who wants to pay to have like a laggy game when you can just, let's say, play on a console or play on a PC and download the game and not have to worry about any of the lag, any of the irritations of like the game being glitchy in any sort of way, because at least it's downloaded. And if you're lagging, it's just because you're playing online or something, not because you're streaming the game. So I don't know. I'm just surprised because I see that they did a lot of recent drops for like the new consoles and the new, just a lot of showcasing recently. And one of the
Right.
things that has been showcasing and has even been an advertisement that keeps popping up is they're still making. They're like there's this an exclusive Stadia game that's releasing, and yeah, I just found it weird that even they're still running commercials for Stadia. I'm like, when I last checked into Stadia, the amount of reviews that it has were like super negative. So,
So it's actually $10 a month. I pulled up the page
I
here.
mean, that's pretty cheap and that's not bad.
So okay, here's the thing. Stadia runs off of a offsite server. Okay. Let's just assume maybe one of their main servers is in California, right?
Yeah.
You also live in California near the area. Okay, so that's good. You're close to the server. The time between the connection won't be great. Now let's assume that you have um a really good internet connection. Maybe Comcast is out there. Maybe you can constantly get 100 megabit per second down. And I'm sure you're going to need some upload because that's how it's going to put your input for a game. So it's going to be downloading the stream to you, and then you're going to be uploading your controller input or however you're playing the game. So you're going to need good download and good upload. Now, Comcast, they're doing gigabit internet speeds now. That's download. I don't know what their upload is. But in some newer neighborhoods that they're putting up, AT&T is actually on a fiber optic network, and they get 100 megabytes per second down and 100 megabits per second up. That's fast. And sometimes I've seen it go up into like 2 to 300 megabits per second. So let's assume you have a perfect internet like that. You're not too far from the server. You have a good connection to the server. Google Stadia for $10 a month is going to be a really good thing to have. So, because let's say you have, you're a regular laptop, nothing fancy, no graphics card, nothing like that, just a $300 or $400 laptop. You plug this into your TV, you go on a vacation, something like that. Assuming your internet's good, assuming you have low latency connection, it looks like I'm looking at the picture. It also looks like they have a Google Chromecast thing in the picture. There's a laptop, a tablet, a phone, a TV, and a Google Chromecast. So I'm assuming Google Stadia works on all those devices. I'm not reading everything on the screen. I'm just going through the background how it works. But let's say you're on vacation, or let's say maybe you're a kid that you travel between houses a lot. Your parents are separated, or maybe your parents are going to work, so you go to your grandma's to catch the bus for school or something, some scenario like that. Okay, you bring your laptop with you. Everywhere you go, you always have access to your games. So right there for $10 a month, that is a good service. That is a pretty good way to, assuming everything works perfectly, you probably can't complain about that. Having access to all the games, playing wherever you want, whenever you want. But the reality of it is, at about 6, 7 o'clock, when you're on your internet, especially in my area, you get slowdowns because there's one coax cable outside going down the street, right? That's what all of your internet goes to. So my apartment that I live in, however many units in here, let's say half of them have Comcast. Now, all of us are streaming Netflix because it's later in the day. Maybe we have a streaming TV service. Maybe this person's on Facebook. Maybe I'm playing a video game. Whatever the case may be. That line, yeah, I'm paying for 100 megabit per second, but everyone's using that line at the same time, and maybe that line's only good for a gigabit. Okay, that's 10 people that have to use it at the same time. Maybe my connection's only using 20 megabytes, but the other neighbor's connection's using 60. Maybe he's doing something more involved. But now let's say we have more than 10 people, and we all want to use the full potential of our speed. Well, now we can't because there's not enough. So, in that kind of instance, that's where a service like Stadia is not going to work well. It's when you get those slowdowns or you get a lag spike, something like that. Your screen might freeze a little bit, or let's say you don't have a good upload speed. Maybe you're on AT&T DSL and you only have about 15 megabytes per second down, which is enough download speed for Stadia, but you only have maybe 1 megabit per second up. Okay. Someone else in your house just uploaded a picture of Facebook at the same time you're going to click to shoot someone. Chances are you're not going to get that shot. That's where the problems start coming. It's you have to have the best of the best internet. You have to have a low latency device. And you have to have let's say good timing, because when you're in those portions of the day when you're getting all the slowdowns because everyone's using the internet, chances are that's when you want a game. That's when Stadia is not gonna shine because of that main problem right there, the slowdowns. So the service, the idea, I mean, I'm looking right here. Let's see, we got Red Dead Redemption 2, Doom. This looks like Players Unknown Battleground. And then I'm looking at this Pro one, and there's just titles and titles and titles. All of that for $10 a month? Awesome. That would be great. You know, these games, the AAA titles, are $60 a pop. So for $10 a month, if I can click on any of these games and just play it, that sounds like a pretty good deal. But for $10 a month, and I want to play during these times when I'm getting these slowdowns and I keep on getting lags and everything, that's when I'm going to start being like, well, is this really worth it? And that might depend on your internet, what package you have. Like me on my internet, it's the lowest speed I get is 85 megabits per second. And the lowest upload I get is 5 megabits per second. That would be more than enough to play Stadia at any time with no issues. So for me personally, it might be great. But for anyone else, or let's say there's another Comcast person here at the apartment that has a lower tier service plan than me, well, if I have priority over that person and maybe all I'm doing is streaming Netflix, well, their experience might not be as great because I'm fucking up the connection. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's the concept is great. It's the internet isn't quite there. Not in all areas.
I don't think that we're just quite there yet. You know, I don't feel like you're saying, you know, the internet's not quite there. I just don't feel as our overall society is ready for a streaming service like this. I mean, honestly, Google might have pulled out the stops, right, where they got ahead of the game. And if they continue staying alive like they are, I believe that eventually things
A
are.
company like Google is the company that's going to make something like
Yeah.
this possible. They have the resources, they have the network, everything's already there. So it makes sense for Google to try something like this.
Yeah.
But
I believe that that I think that our future definitely is going to be streaming services. Like
mhm,
I feel like eventually, for example, Xbox, and I feel like even PlayStation, eventually it's going to lead to like this almost all PC sort of world where these consoles and stuff are literally probably going to slowly become obsolete, and it's just going to become like PCs. And then that's when they're going to have the competition of trying to become a streaming service. I mean,
yeah,
because think about it, like now we have like Netflix, we have Hulu, we have streaming services for movies. So I know that the next big thing is going to be streaming services for video games.
I have you ever heard of Steam Link or anything like that?
No, but I'm assuming it's a streaming service.
Well, it's not a streaming service. It's so basically like I have the Steam Link app on my phone, and I have a controller that kind of clips around my phone. That's kind of like an Xbox controller. But if my computer's on and I have a good enough connection, doesn't matter where I am in the world, I can connect to my computer and I can play whatever game I want to on my phone. I can be out camping in the middle of nowhere, but as long as I have like 2 hours LTE, I can log into my computer and play a video game. Stadia is the same thing. The difference is you're not logging into your computer at home. You're logging into a computer that's in a server cluster that Google owns. Same concept. So if you've ever used Steam Link, for any of the viewers, Stadia is the same thing. So any issues you have with Steam Link where you might get real low resolution because your internet connection's not good, or your input lag is kind of low, or stuff is happening on the screen and you didn't see it on your phone, those are all the problems that you could potentially have with Stadia.
Yeah.
So,
I
and
mean,
that's why I say it's not 100% there yet, because there's not 100% signal strength everywhere you go.
yeah, I
Phone
think
companies, they're still throttling people because we don't have enough on the network to support everyone.
yeah,
That's why when you're on your phone, say you have Verizon or someone, you have unlimited data, but you're throttled after 20 gigs. That's
y-
because we don't have a strong enough network to keep everyone going full speed, full time. That's why Stadia is going to struggle until we get to that point.
yeah, I mean, it's the way of the future, but it's not currently, like it's not for this time era. I don't think. I think that, like I said, they have an ace. They're gonna end up reaping the benefits later and planting the seed, because I feel like Google can afford right now putting money into a company like this and not have to worry about it making money, because currently, I mean, they're making billions of dollars. Um, so I could see a
Well, let's look
company
at it
like
this way.
that being able to fund this, and then too, I do see where they're trying to go that way, because as the more you look at it too, we're kind of in this sort of digital, and we're
I
slowly
say we
getting to
try it.
this wireless era. Because I mean, look, we have the ability to turn on lights with our phone, right? You got those smart lights. I mean, you
Mhm.
have freaking you could look at cameras through your phone too. You got Ring, where you could literally just connect it via Bluetooth, right? And even as you're saying, like your computer now you can connect to. So it's like we're having this now wireless era. So I could see it like we're going in the direction of Stadia. We're going in the direction of streaming video games, essentially.
I say we try it because I'm looking at this. You get 1 month of Pro for free, and then it's $9.99 for a month after. So for $20, you could try Stadia for 90 days.
You know what? If
You know,
I still had my Pixel phone, and now I kind of wish I did, is then I would have tried it on my Pixel phone to see how well it runs.
you can probably download it to your Mac.
Yeah, I assume the Mac, but I was just curious about the
Oh,
mobile
yeah.
side of it when it
Let's see.
comes to streaming it onto your
If I
Pixel.
sign in, I'm assuming I can sign in with my Google account. Okay. I have to accept Google's privacy concerns. Let's see. I have to click on a. I'm just gonna click this funny looking rocket in the beginning for my avatar. We'll just say that's a good one. Stadia name. We're gonna see just how easy this is right here because they say you just jump right into it and start playing. Can you send friend request? I can do all that later. Oh, it wants me to do it now. All players, I guess. We'll just do all players for everything because I don't want to think about this. I'm a little kid. I'm in a hurry. Anyone setting this up, you may actually want to spend some time in these and get it set up just the right way for you. But I'm just clicking, getting it to work. Sign me up for email updates. I don't want another email. No, we'll click not now for that. Let's see. Claim pro games right now. Take $10 off your first game purchase. Okay, so you have to purchase the game. I assumed that much. Because the $10 a month, you're only paying to rent the server that runs your game. So let's see. Start trial. Billing starts October 20th, $9.99. Total today 0. Great. Cool. Oh, they want my Visa card in there. All right. I got to get the security code. Hold on. You're all set. Okay. I am in Stadia now. I got a pro subscription. That simple. Let's see. You're a pro. Cool. Get games. So right off the bat, there's a big, long list of free games. Let's just pick a random one here. Hitman, the complete first season. I can't read today. Sorry. Is there anything about charging me for this later? I'm just looking through it real quick. Nothing. All right. So let's click claim. I just claimed my first game. Click the play button. Right there. I'm in the game. So I probably can't continue playing the game because we'll probably have to do cuts because we may not have permission to stream this. You need to refresh your account access. To access your game, you need to refresh your account. Okay, so let's click the refresh button. What does it want me to refresh? So I'm just in my browser. The game's loading. Important safety information. That can be up to you guys on your own to do that. Now, I'll have to give you some input later because during the podcast, there's probably not time for me to sit here and play a video game. But that took me 5 minutes or less. And right here, it's press return to play. I'm ready to launch the game right now. And it's full screen on my TV. So you could do this on your tablet, phone, whatever you want. Maybe there's a Stadia app that I can download to my Roku TV. I don't know. But right there, that seemed pretty good. Now I got to figure out how to turn this off. Oh, okay. Well, go ahead, Justin. Take over. Do some talking. I got to figure out how to turn this off because now it wants me to agree to terms and services for the first time. So take over for a little bit.
Well, that is definitely some pretty interesting how quick you could set that up, and hopefully we'll have an update soon. We actually do have to throw it over to a break, and we'll be right back. I often find myself wondering, what's next? What lies ahead? Where do I go? How far will I go? We often think about tomorrow, but what's the point? What's the point of not looking at what we have in front of us? Why not look to the present and be grateful? Why do you run from today? What difference does it make if everything you have today can be gone tomorrow? So I urge you, live for today. Search EBXYA on Amazon today to get all of your XLR cable needs. Link in the description. And we're back from that word from our sponsor. I hope you guys enjoyed. And I briefly want to mention, go follow us on our social media. And go follow us on all of our platforms. We're on 4 platforms now. Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Be sure that to go on the platform of your choosing. If you're listening on YouTube, please subscribe and hit that notification bell to get all the latest notifications when we drop videos. And we drop every Friday at 9 a.m. I don't feel like I mentioned it enough. But yeah, so please subscribe. Every subscription helps. Every like on the video on YouTube or even SoundCloud. And any comment helps. We like to engage. Feel free to also message us on the Amateur Hour too with any sort of comments as well. If you guys don't feel like comfortable with leaving normal comments and you just want to comment and say, hey, I'd like to hear about this or I'd like to hear about that. We definitely would like to hear some of your guys' feedback, so don't be afraid to engage with us because we definitely will engage back. And, yeah, we're loving the 34 subscribers over on YouTube. Thank you guys so much. It seems to be that you guys are actually much preferring our YouTube platform over all of the other 4, which is A-okay. But don't forget the other 4 are there. So if you have friends that only listen on Spotify, SoundCloud, or even iTunes, be sure to send them that link tree. The links also for our social media is going to be in the link in the description, as well as all of our sponsors. So let's get back on topic, right? We got a lot of recent current events, new public topics.
Let's keep the flow going here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
We got an Xbox Series S. We were on gaming. For all the people that don't like the gaming talk, sorry, this podcast might just be a gaming talk podcast today.
Yeah, today's topics are heavily
As
gaming.
Justin was going to say, all the recent events. I am looking at Xbox's website right now. And the item I'm looking at right now is an Xbox Series S. And let me just say, I'm looking at the size of the Xbox compared to the size of the new controller, which is basically real similar to the old controller. But anyway,
takes USB-C.
It's tiny.
Yeah.
The Xbox is tiny.
Yeah, I think
from what I understand, the fangirl on the top of the Xbox is somewhere between 120 and 140 millimeters. If that's the case, the fan on the front of my computer right now is 120 millimeters. Okay? It's roughly, I mean, it's a little bit smaller than my controller I'm holding in my hand right now. But let's just say my controller looks like it might be more than half the length of this Xbox One S.
Yeah, I believe it was 2 controllers width, right? As for
something
when it came
like
to
that.
the length of the system itself, and like 4 controllers, like I believe it was horizontal.
Now let's go back in time a little bit here. I have the original Xbox One right here in front of me. This guy right here. It's a fucking tank compared to that new Xbox. And the reason that's important is because everything inside of it will outperform completely this Xbox that I have. And if we look at the Xbox S, what is it? I
The
don't know.
Xbox One S, or are you talking about the original?
Xbox One S.
Yeah, I have that
Xbox
one.
One S.
That one was pretty small.
It is pretty small, but this one is making it smaller.
Really? So
I
it's
think
even
it might
smaller
actually
than.
be a little bit thicker, but it's more of a compact. We'll call it a rectangular prism. It's more compact. Whereas the Xbox One S, it's real thin, but it's a pretty big rectangle considering what it is. This guy, it's a little bit thicker, but it's shorter and it's less depth to it. So it's more compact. And as you may have seen, I sent you that picture of the Unbox Therapy guy. He
Yes.
he received some samples from Microsoft of the casings for the Xbox just so he could see what they actually looked like. And this little Xbox has the option to mount, or I guess stand, not mount, but stand up on its like upright. Instead of laying down flat, you stand upright. So you could slot this thing into this really tiny space and probably disappear like you don't even know it's sitting there anymore.
It
It's
probably.
so tiny.
I wouldn't suggest it because you probably like ruin the airflow of the console.
Well, you gotta be mindful. You don't want to
Yeah.
sample it in the bookshelf and like cut everything off. But what I'm saying is, if you got your entertainment center there and you're like, oh, do I have room to put a console here? Like this thing will fit in somewhere. It's tiny.
But honestly, I mean, that's a good thing, right? Because I remember when the Xbox Series X first was released, and people were complaining, like, oh, it might be like super big, it might be irritating, and, I don't know how it's going to look in my living room. And they had all this huge complaint, right? Not complaint, but like these were some of the comments that they were getting. And now though they release the Series S, and it's like it's what people want. It's very slim, slender, nice, and even the airflow of it looks really nice. I mean, you have that big fan on the top of it, when it's laying on its side,
Mm-hmm.
and then you also have all the ventilation system on the sides. Like it's insane.
But hold on here. Hold on here. We're looking at the S, Justin,
That's what I'm saying.
because the S is released. Oh, I thought you were looking at the X.
No, no, no. I was looking at the Series S, and it hasn't
Oh, it
released just
sounded like
yet.
you were describing the X with the fan on the top. Okay,
No,
my
no,
bad.
yeah, no. This Series S also has it's a like one fan system, but its ventilation is literally even more than the Series X itself.
Now let's talk about this console here. I pulled up the full the tech specs, the whole list. Pulled up the whole thing here. Now, it is the smaller system. It is a little, not to say dumbed down, but a lower spec than the Xbox X, which everyone knows that. That's not a surprise to anyone. Partially, that's because of cooling. So, same processor, different GPU. But because there's less cooling, they have to downclock it a little bit. And the graphics processor, those are what really produce heat. And mind you, AMD made the chips for these. AMD is just known for being space heaters. So they have to clock them down a little bit, but you're still going to get way more performance than you're getting out of your console now. So we're looking at, let's see, 10 gigs of GDDR6, 128-bit wide bus. That's very high speed memory. That is going to be nice. Memory bandwidth, 8 gigs at 224 gigabits per second, 2 gigs at 56 gigabit per second. So that is essentially the RAM in your system and how fast it's going to run. That's how fast you're going to process bandwidth going through the system. That's fast. Internal storage, this is where the S is really pushed down. It comes with less storage and there's no CD drive. This might be the downfall for some people. No more game sharing. Hey, can I borrow that Xbox game? I seen you bought the new game. Oh wait, I don't have a disc tray, so you can't. Or maybe you have all those older games. You buy one of these systems. Now you're trying to put the CD in it somewhere. Well, it doesn't work if you lay it on top. It has to go inside of it. So you're lacking a disc tray. Although expandable storage up to 1 terabyte. And it also supports USB 3.1 external hard drives. So you can get 5 terabyte storage on this thing if you really want it. It won't be the lightning fast SSD, but it will be more storage. In the older games, they don't even use the lightning fast SSD. So if you have an online or if you have a game storage library that's on a hard drive, you still can plug it into this Xbox and use all that if you're not a person that likes to use disk.
I mean, it's
But-
kind of what we were talking about earlier, right? With the whole streaming side of things. It's like everything's going digital. So, I mean, honestly, it might even be more worth it.
Now, another thing I'm looking at, scrolling down a little bit, the Xbox Series X is supposed to be the top dog 4K gaming king. The S, however, you only get 1440p, but you get up to 120 frames per second.
And-
So that's actually pretty good.
Let's even mention the price. It's only $300 USD.
Oh, yes. And also, I don't know if the older generation consoles had FreeSync. I don't know if you recall if they did or not. This one has FreeSync, and basically that means if you have a TV that supports AMD FreeSync, no screen tearing. This eliminates that. So that's awesome. There was one other important thing. Oh, here we go. Here's the. Oh, this is in centimeters. Okay. You guys will have to convert this to inches if you want to know. 6.5 centimeters by 27.5 centimeters tall by 15.1 centimeters deep. That's tiny. You can fit this in your kid's room anywhere you want. You can fit this in the living room and it can be hidden where you don't even see it. Now, I will say the release is white and there's no black option.
Hmm.
I
See,
kind of
that's-
wish there was.
Well, you know
Because if I back up in my chair right now, all of my stuff is black. If I put this up in my living room, no matter how good I hide it, it's gonna stick out like a sore thumb. That's my only gripe about this system.
There
I
is a solution, though.
black.
There
Well,
is a
there's always a
solution.
solution, but why not just make the black variant?
You can always get a wonderful and glorious D brand skin. Put that bad boy on there, and it would probably look just as crisp, just as
Oh,
clean, and
D-brand is
without
great.
ruining your
And
console.
D-brand can make it look however good you want.
Exactly.
You have to spend more money on that.
I mean, hey, it's customization. You know, it's something a little bit extra. It's free canvas. I'm sure they'll roll out a black version. To be honest, same with the Series X. To be honest, I really like this look of a white console. So the fact that the Series X is all black, I was kind of disappointed with. I wanted an all white looking console. So, you know, I could understand certain gripes, which is part of the reason why I'm going to wait with purchasing the console. Because, one, I want it to run its bugs. I want the bugs to run its course. I don't want to get the first batch. But I also want to see what other color options eventually they're going to, release for everyone.
So let's talk about who this console's for.
I think this console is for those individuals they're into the new digital age. They're into the wireless era. They're into the streaming era, to put it more exact. I think it's the best for you.
This console, yes, this one's for your kid that keeps nagging you for a game system. It's for that person that doesn't have a whole lot of space. It's for the person that doesn't have $600 to drop on a low end gaming computer or the new Xbox X. So that group of people right there, and that's a big group. That's a big group of people. And $24.99 a month. I think it's a 2-year term. You could finance the Xbox. Which did they offer that on the last time?
I'm not quite
Or is
sure.
that a new thing? I think that's new.
I will say though, I wish when I was a kid they had this other option because can you imagine like your parents low income and now there's a system out there that's only for $300, like, or it's like $200 less. It's only $300. Like,
But
you don't have to worry about your kid or you yourself being out of the loop and not being able to essentially afford it. And as your friends are playing all these fun, cool games, I mean, yeah, sure, it's sad that you're not going to have that disc tray, but I think it's really cool because you could at least keep up with the software and the hardware and just have fun.
now, for me personally, if I get the Xbox, that's a big if because I have a gaming computer that's pretty good performer still. But I would probably get the X because
Same.
one, my Xbox is my Blu-ray player. So I can't replace it with the one that doesn't have the disc slot. Yes, I do still have DVDs and I do still like to watch them. So I can't do the Series S, unfortunately. But going back to who this Xbox is for, you could buy it for $300 plus the taxes or whatever in your area. That just gets you the Xbox. Okay. Or you could do the $24.99 a month. It is 24 months, 2 years. That gives you the console, obviously, but it also gives you 24 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Now, what's $24.99 times 24? Let's do some math because I'm not doing it off the top of my head. I'm sure someone else probably already has it done if they're listening. But $24.99 times 24. That's $599 after you're done paying for everything. So they're making it sound like a deal, but it's not a deal. Now, how much is the Ultimate Game Pass? Where's that at? Because let's say you get the Ultimate Game Pass at a discounted rate when you're doing this $24.99 a month.
With the Xbox Game Pass?
Yeah, so let's look at the Game Pass. Let's see. Xbox game. Oh, that's for PC. $9.99 a month for the Xbox Game Pass. So let's see. $9.99 times 24. That is $239. So remember that $239 because I don't remember what the other one was. So now I got to do the math again. 24.99 times 24 minus, that makes the value of that console $367 at the end of the deal. That's not bad.
I'm excited. I'm excited for this new age of Xbox and this ability. Like I said, I wish I had this sort of when I was a kid. Not to say that my parents didn't work how hard to get me like the actual official system, but at the time it was like that would have been a little bit lighter on their pocket to get a $300 system. I think this is definitely an affordable option for kids out there. And you're getting such high specs. Like, I would have never dreamed to have consoles cost this much. But here's the thing, and
the value is definitely there.
Alongside the Xbox Series S and the Xbox One's announcement, we also had PS5 release their announcement. They had their whole showcase for the new console and for a few new games that they have coming out. Obviously, because PS5 is the king of how do you say of exclusives. So there's tons of PS5 exclusives. You got God of War 2, I think I forget the other titles. So pardon me for that. But the PS5 itself, they also are releasing a digital console that is supposed to be a lot cheaper than, not a lot cheaper than their flagship console. So their console is the digital edition, but here's the thing: the original console, $500. Their digital edition, $400. Now, how can you compete the Series S to this digital edition of a PS5 that's only $100 cheaper? Like, I thought that was kind of sad on PS5's, sort of perspective. Like, I kind of wish they would have tried to rival a little bit more with that Series S and dropped
Well,
it to 300.
the difference is the PS5, they see Xbox, they had the X and S. The S is the lower tier. For the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition, I believe all they did was take the disk drive out.
That
So the
is correct.
hardware inside is not reduced. So whether you get a digital edition or you get a digital edition with a CD drive, or a regular one, I mean, you get the full blown specs. So
But it's
for
only
$100 cheaper, lacking a DVD drive, that's probably the route a lot of people will go.
true, but listen to this, right? I have the comparison side by side with the digital edition and the Series S. So you have, right, the digital edition costs $400, and that's for the PS5. And you have the Xbox Series S, which is $300. They both have AMD, and one is at 3.6 gigahertz, which is for the Series S, and the Series 5 for the processor is at 3.5 gigahertz. But they're both 8 core as well. And you both have AMD Radeon RNDA 2 GPU with 4 teraflops from the Series S, but with 10 teraflops from the digital edition for PS5. Now
That right there is what I was talking about with the Series S. The graphics card in the Series S is downclocked. So the heat output for the Series S, being that it's not as superior, it can still handle cooling down that processor. Otherwise, if you turn it all the way up and you have it all at its full blown, that Series S will overheat within minutes. The PlayStation, it's not a smaller box. It's not a downclocked. It's not. It's nothing
it's
like that.
literally the same size.
It's the same thing. So that's
So,
that console is for the people that, oh, I want better than the Xbox S performance, but I really can't afford that extra $100. So right there, those people, there's probably going to be a lot of PS5 buyers.
So continuing on though, the RAM, you have 16 RAM for digital edition and 10 gigabytes of RAM for the Series S. You have 8 gigabytes or 825 gigabytes for the SSD for storage for the digital edition, and for the Series X or Series S, pardon me, you have 512 gigabytes SSD. And now
Now, I don't
resolution.
know if the PlayStation has the expandable memory card. I assume it does, but I'm looking at the website and I don't see anything about it. But the
Possibly.
reason they're releasing the lower end console with the less memory is because there is a slot that you can buy one of the high bandwidth SSDs and plug it into the back of your Series S.
Yes.
Now, maybe the PlayStation doesn't offer that. Maybe that's why they just have it come with more of that out of the box. I'm assuming you can do like the USB 3.1, you can plug in a hard drive and stuff to the back of the PlayStation, because you could do that with the PS4s. But
True.
I think those are the differences right there.
So then you have resolution up to 8K, and for this digital edition, and for the Series S is, as you said, 1440p, and frame rates are the same. So, I mean, there are
Now,
differences.
you're not going to get that 120 FPS in 8K. That 8K is going to be for streaming, or if you're playing like a real basic game. Like if you're playing one of those super cartoony games that doesn't have much graphics power, that's what that 8K is going to run. They're advertising that, but honestly, you're not going to see it that much. Now, the 4K 60 to 4K 120, that is what you're going to see a lot more. That is what we're moving into for now. The 4K, that is the gaming highlight right there for both consoles.
Yeah, so as I was saying though, the differences aren't, I don't feel like crazy substantial. Like I
Yeah.
don't feel like they're big enough for me to say, all right, well, that justifies I'm gonna go with a PS5 over a PS4. I mean, they pretty, given the factor that this Xbox Series S is the lower end of what a, let's say, PS5 is, right? Because
Mm.
literally that is the digital edition is literally just the PS5, just you remove the disc tray.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're getting cut performance a little bit with the Series S, but I mean it's still keeping up. That's the thing that I really enjoy about the Series S.
Well,
Now,
see, the PlayStation, they didn't they didn't break up their crowd very much. PlayStation just says if you're a PlayStation fan, you want the best of the best. Both of our consoles do that. Where I appreciate what Xbox has done is they broke up their crowd a little bit. So when you're like you were saying earlier, $300 for a console, you can't beat that price. I think I paid five something when I bought mine brand new. Um, but now that they're saying, "Oh, we got this $300 one, and then we're gonna have a $500 one that's like the ultimate gaming console ever," so I like that Xbox is doing that now because now you don't have to go dish out $500 for your kids' birthday present, Christmas present, whatever. It's more affordable. Or if you're simply that person that you want to play video games once in a while, but you're not going to use it as much as some people do, and now you're thinking like, "Oh, is this really worth $500? I don't know if I should be doing that." But now that you can go to Xbox and you can get it for $300, those kind of people are going to appreciate that more because maybe they're the people that, hey, I'm going to game once in a while after work. I might only touch this thing once a week. So maybe it's not worth $500, you know? So that they have that other option. Whereas PS5, yes, they have a cheaper option, but you're still paying a lot of money. $100 difference. It is a difference, but I don't think it's enough to differentiate the two different crowds that they want to support.
but as for the PS5 fan base, they, let's just say their pre-orders they outsold. They outsold their pre-orders, and it's difficult now to even find a pre-order sale and to get your hands on a PS5. As soon as like they released it in retailers like Walmart and stuff like that, like the pre-orders just outsold it for PS5, which is
Right.
definitely more than what I could say the Xbox or Xbox. They haven't released their pre-orders just yet, as of the day we're recording this. But yeah, no, like I thought that was insane too. That everyone sort of just hopped on that PS5 and was like, "Yeah, we want to pre-order this now." But with that
Well,
said, though,
the
the
PS5 also had a little bit more traction from the PS4. There was some more PS4 buyers out there than there was Xbox buyers.
yeah,
The PS4 graphics wise and some of their exclusives were arguably a little bit ahead of Xbox. But now with this new generation, exclusives you can't change anything with. This person's exclusive can't be the same as the other person's exclusive. That just depends on what game you like. But when you're comparing console to console, there's competition now. And there's good competition.
but
So
with
I,
that
I think
said,
Xbox has to regain its traction. All
yeah, with that said, it has increased as of right now, as rumors and speculation, and I believe, and right now I say rumors and speculation because I don't remember the exact site, but there was a game that was cited for a regular price of $70, increase in game price, which I thought was absolutely insane. By them increasing the game price for games, like true, you can vouch for like, oh well, the graphics are gonna be better and whatnot. I still don't think that price wise, console games should go up in price, just because like $60 is pretty
See,
steep
I'm
already.
I'm gonna interrupt that right there
Yeah.
because I'm a PC gamer. My PC is superior to any console out there right now. I can play in higher resolution. I can play more FPS. I do not pay full price for games. That is bullshit.
Yeah. Well,
I don't buy a game unless it's on sale because $60, it's a video game. I love video games, but it's a video game. $60 is a lot of money.
yeah. Well, now try them asking for $70 now. I think it's because there has been a recent norm of even putting pre-orders up to like $80. Like you have the $70 pre-order sometimes where it doesn't come with
So
anything.
Ubisoft actually released a new game. Let me pull it up because they put it on pre-order for $120.
That's insane.
Ridiculous.
So with that said, is that you're getting tons of pre-orders now and stuff like that, right? To this price. So I think what's happening is that we're normalizing the price range when it comes to video games. And so, I mean, that sucks because people are getting used to this pre-order and stuff like that. I mean, we're just bumping up the price and we don't even realize it. I really hope that this isn't a factor and people get outraged and kind of boycott games at that point, because there's no way in heck, if I'm not pre-ordering it, I'm not paying more than $60. $60 is my cap.
The point of a pre-order is to fund the game. I'm drawing a blank on the word.
To fund the game for the
Development.
creators?
To fund the game development.
Oh, okay.
That's what pre-order's for. Okay. Pre-order, if you're helping fund the game development, you should be getting a discount. They should be offering that. Let's say the regular price is $60. If I want to fund it and get the game first, I should get it for $49.
Yeah.
That's
insane.
I'm trying to find that game though.
But, with that said though, we have to throw it over to yet another break. I thank you guys for listening. Enjoy this word from our sponsor. Adam Stone, a unique and talented artist hitting the alternative rock scene. Listen to him as he jams his way into becoming a new hit artist.
But now you will, 'cause I am bringing you down. I'll take you off your chair, setting fire what's left from your hair. Someday.
Listen to Adam Stone singles for free on Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube.
Surrounding me. I don't know why I was chosen to live like this every day, every day, every day. I don't know why pain.
You can follow your favorite ghost, Adam Stone, on Instagram and Facebook. Link in the description. And we're back from that quick word from our sponsor. I hope you guys enjoyed that. All sponsors, if you guys are curious, their links are in the description, so check them out. Also, check out the individuals who work on the show, BMMB and Adam Stone. Both BMMB does our lovely visuals for the show, and you got Adam Stone who did the theme song, and We're Forever in His Debt. So go check him out. His link's in the description. to all his music and or social medias, as well as for BMMB, his YouTube channel's on there, and his social medias. So go check them out, please. I'll reiterate. And if you're on YouTube, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. But let's continue on. So Tyler, we got a little fun coming, right? It's a video game topic type of podcast for today's day. This episode has been nothing but consoles. We got Stadia, PS5, anything and everything video games we've been discussing so far. So I know it's been making you a bit antsy, and you want to get a game now. Let me try and sell you on some games.
All right. Well, you told me to open Steam, so let's open.
All right. So there's several games that might have your sort of mindset. They were on sale. I don't know if they are anymore. Death Stranding is a game. I don't know if you're into sort of horror-centric or just beautiful landscape video games.
Death Stranding? Stranding?
Death Stranding. That video game has your lovely and your favorite, or actually Sarah's favorite, Norman Reedus from Walking Dead is the main protagonist of the story, the main character that you get to play as he's running through an apocalyptic America.
That backpack. Do you see his backpack?
Yes.
There is this scene where that backpack is towering over his head.
Yes. So this game, Tyler, is a bit of some people say it's like a delivery sort of simulator. So the idea of the game is it's a broken up America, and there's these creatures that had popped up in America, and they started they kill you, and there's this acid rain that sort of it turns you old and it kills you as well. So there's all these crazy things, sci-fi sort of things going on. And at the same token, you work for this company and you're supposed to deliver certain packages to other individuals. They use this delivery service to sort of, order things pretty much, right? And living supplies and all this. And you kind of get caught up in a bigger story than just delivering things. But what I find cool about the game is there's tons and tons of crazy terrain, and it's just beautiful looking. The game is absolutely gorgeous. And you have to be creative in the way you're carrying these packages throughout this huge landscape that you have. So there's areas where you have to climb mountains, and you need certain ropes, and certain areas of the rock doesn't really link up, and you could fall and break these packages and fail the mission. You can lose these packages in the water. You can get attacked by raiders. And so it's pretty, I don't know, I thought it was a pretty cool and crazy concept. It seems kind of mundane, but it's a relaxed game with beautiful visuals and crazy sort of terrain. How do you say? I want to say moving through the terrain, essentially. Does that sound like a game that interests you? There are vehicles. There's a motorcycle. You could build highways and other roadways systems, and you could upload them online for people that are also playing the single-player game. So that way, let's say there was an area that you couldn't go through, you could also mark that area and say, hey, don't go on this rock area because you'll probably slip. And other people who are playing the game with online features connected can see that you had posted that. So I thought that's kind of cool because it changes your experience of the game.
So, awesome looking game. Although, feel like this game should have been co-op. And it's not co-op. It's like the Earth version of Astroneer.
Right? It seems really cool. It seems really decent. I wish it was co-op. I think it's cool. I think that online feature is really awesome.
The online feature is cool because I can share and I can look at stuff when I'm doing a mission. I can be like, oh, I should watch out for this. That's cool. But if you could do that, why not have co-op?
I know. All these games recently, no co-op. Ugh.
Yeah,
One of our first topics of the first episode of the podcast is the death of cooperative gaming because there's just not as much of
co-op
that
can't
experience.
die. Co-op needs to go on.
Yes, but I mean, it definitely seems like
Platform with all these new consoles and everything
it's
because we need co-op.
it's an interesting game that actually was just released on PC. It was a PlayStation 5 exclusive, and then they had just brought it to PC, which got my attention. I'm like, you know what? I want to play this game. Like, I know some people, it's like it's too mundane and slow pace of a game. They don't want it. Some people find it tedious as in having to deliver stuff. I find it kind of interesting and relaxing just because the game is so beautiful.
Well, see, I like games like that. Like that's why Fallout is one of my favorite game series, or it might be my favorite game series because the open worlds are awesome. And like, see, I sit down and I play for an hour, and then I might quit. So for a game that's just massive, I feel like I really get my money's worth out of it because it takes me forever to complete that game. So I like those type of games. I think those are the better games.
There's also the new game that is all the rage, Among Us. A game where you're trying to play with it's a party game. You play with a group of friends, up to 10 people.
I might buy that game anyway
And you try and find out
because that
who
one's only
essentially is the murderer.
$5.
Yeah.
It's only $5.
Yeah. Only $5, Tyler. Is that game. It's a fantastic game. Now there's also another game. It's by Square Enix by the name of Control. I don't know if you've ever played the game Alan Wake. Have you ever heard of that game or played that game?
Edition?
Excuse me?
August. It's Control Ultimate Edition.
Just whatever edition you'd like or prefer.
That's the only one I've seen that came up. View page. Oh, it's rated M.
Yes. So
Blood,
it is a
strong language and
fantastic,
violence.
crazy, trippy, action-filled video game where you play as a main protagonist that is a strong female individual who has this sort of like strange power. I don't know if you've ever played any of the Remedy games recently, but it reminds me of this game called Quantum Break. They have actually one of the actresses that was on Quantum Break is actually playing the main character for this game Control. And this game Control has just dropped a DLC connecting to one of the very popular Remedy games called Alan Wake, which is a bit of a horror-centric video game. And
Well, it looks like the Ultimate Edition is coming with all the DLC.
well, there you go. You'll be getting one of the special DLCs that is special to my heart. Alan Wake. I love that video game. It's such a game. That's a game I also would recommend to you if you just like story-driven games that is just about like horror themes, and it's very interesting.
So includes the original base game, obviously. Both expansions, the Foundation and AWE,
Yes, that's it.
and
That's
then
it.
all extra content
That's very exciting.
for $39.
For $39.
$39.99.
No, that game, like
Now,
I
these
said, it's
pictures look awesome. Let's rewind here. Hold on. This is appealing, and it's for a good price.
so you're liking so far the idea of Control.
Control looks pretty good. Let's see. It's only a single player again, so but it looks cool.
Remember, this is a pitch specifically for you, Tyler. Right? It's a single player experience that you could sit back, you could have fun, play it at your own pace, and enjoy the game.
All right. I'm liking it.
Right. I got another Square Enix game that honestly goes right up our alley. Marvel's Avengers.
Mm.
It's a Square Enix game yet again. We know they are solid
That was
game
brand new.
creators. They make, how do you say, Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider was absolutely wonderful. We love that series. Very near and dear to our hearts. They have made the wonderful game Avengers, following a new story, not following the movies. It's its own story. Actually, though, following still comic book backgrounds for the villain, of which I won't spoil. But it is absolutely wonderful gaming experience. I had just completed it myself, and it's a fun single-player experience, and it has even a cooperative.
You played the whole game already.
I played the whole game already.
How long did it take?
It didn't seem like a lot of hours. Maybe the campaign seems like 15 hours or so of a campaign. Not too long for a campaign for single player.
Okay.
So it's an interesting game. You could also play it online with friends if you wanted to. Not the story experience, unfortunately. Some missions you can, and some missions you can't. But ultimately, if you just want to smash, as the Hulk says, you just get on that game and you just play with a group of friends on their Warzone mode, of which it's a group of 4 people being able to choose your character between, as of right now, that is, Hulk, Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, Black Widow, and Ms. Marvel are the 5 characters currently available. More to come soon.
It's still $60.
Yeah, it's a new release, my friend.
But I know. Just saying, the $60, man.
$60,
60
solid
bucks.
game. For the most part, it's really cool. There are in-game purchases that are available, but it's all cosmetic. Everything that you'd spend money on is for cosmetics. Unfortunately, it takes a while to unlock new suits, is my only gripe. You have to get, there's a lot of cool suits in the store, but you have to buy them all pretty much, because grinding them out is going to take forever. If you play the game a lot, I mean, hey, that's good for you. But if not, I mean, it's kind of one, I think, downside, given the fact that it's a Marvel game and it's normally for everyone to play it. So I think that's a little bit down. With thoughts on the Avengers game?
$60, but it's co-op.
It is cooperative
I like
experience.
co-op.
If that game doesn't do it for you, I got
Good.
2 more for you.
It's looking good. Well, let's move on. Let's keep looking. Let's look at everything.
So we have another game that was right up your alley. For a game you like some simulators and moving around and you love vehicles. So I got another game up my sleeve. The game Flight Simulator 2, I believe it is, or Flight Simulator. It's a recent game that came out. Check it out. You play as a pilot. It's apparently a 1-to-1 simulation of flying. You can fly throughout the whole country, whatever plane you want. And yeah, it's check it out. See if it's up your alley.
Is this Microsoft's newest flight simulator?
That is correct.
Yes, there's been a lot of hype about this. I've never played Flight Simulator. And actually, everyone, there's a lot of people out there that will make the argument that this is not a game.
I
Yeah,
mean,
people take the game seriously.
yeah, it's a very. I've seen a few people playing it, and some people can't even take off. So it's very, very 1-to-1, as I stated previously. Interest, thoughts, feelings on that game.
I might be interested in it.
All right, we're getting
Just
somewhere.
because I do like simulation games.
All right, I have one more game of my sleeve for right now. It's my last pitch of the day. There's a game that has a cooperative experience, has vehicles, has the physics that you're looking for in a video
Can I
game.
shoot you in the face?
No.
Okay.
It's a game a little bit laid back, but it
Oh.
reminds me of a little bit of a BMMG sort of game, so it's got to be up your alley. The game is known as SnowRunner, and it is out on PC right now, currently. You can play several vehicles, and
I have Spin Tires, the original game. SnowRunner is their newest edition. Some point in April 2021, SnowRunner will be available on Steam. But it's still available for PC. I just got to buy it somewhere else.
So, looks sweet, feelings, thoughts. Are you itching to purchase anything just yet?
I'm going to have to do some thinking because I have to get the right game.
Well, there you have it, folks. Tyler's going to do some thinking. We will update you in the next episode of the podcast. I might have some more pitches next week. You got to give me some time to rethink, reinvigorate. I tried giving you some action, some horror, some nerdiness, and some driving simulators or vehicle simulation, of which you like.
It's kind of looking like Control is really piquing my interest, and that might be because it's only $39.
Wow.
But it looked like pretty sweet game. Looked like pretty solid game.
Yeah. Mechanics are good. Gameplay I've seen has been great. But with that said, we have to come to this to near end of the podcast. So, we're running out of time here. But you know what? I hope you get a game soon. We will update everyone. And if not, I'll think of some other games, come up with more pitches. Again, folks, these are pitches specifically for Tyler. So if you don't agree with my game choices, I'm trying to cater to Tyler here, okay? I have tons of game choices, trust me. Other games that people might find more interesting. People are probably like, Death Stranding, like, what? I'm like, nah. Tyler understands me. I know Tyler, okay? So shut up. But with that said,
we are a couple of different people. That's
yeah. It's been a fantastic episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know when it's me and Tyler, we always somehow find a way to get into the geeky gaming talk. But that's just who we are. That's what this podcast is about. It's about anything and everything. So we're going to talk serious sometimes. We're going to talk real world issues and sometimes even just what we did in our day. I mean, it's just, we're doing a lot of things that are just very conversational. And we, like I said, we talk about anything and everything. So be prepared for that. Hopefully we have a whole new episode for you guys. But yes, we did talk about more gaming stuff. I'm sorry. And not sorry. Because it's what the podcast is about. It's about anything and everything, all right? But with that said, go over to our social media. I'm not going to drown on anymore. Go over to our social media. Give us a follow, please, to get all the updates for every new episode. Especially if you're listening on Spotify, SoundCloud, and iTunes, you're not necessarily getting a lot of notifications every time we update something new and add a new episode to the roster, if you will. So if I were you guys, go over to our social media, our Twitter and Instagram, so that and give us a follow, so that way you guys can keep up to date. For every Friday, 9 a.m., we have a new episode up. So be prepared. Next Friday's episode is going to be pretty fun, at least I think, because we're pre-recording this. But with that said as well, I love you guys very much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the support. If you're on YouTube, hit subscribe and that notification bell. I'm going to say it again. And please follow everyone that is working on the show. Any words, Tyler?
If you don't subscribe, you die.
There you go. If you don't subscribe, you die. JK, LOL, everyone.
Hit the button now.
This is going on too long. All right, we love you. Bye.